In what many are calling one of his most baffling speeches to date, former President Donald Trump took the stage in Prescott Valley, Arizona, leaving spectators and political analysts alike bewildered. The speech, which was meant to rally support for his potential 2024 bid, instead descended into a confusing array of slurred words, odd tangents, and disjointed thoughts. Trump's continued refusal to release his medical records only adds fuel to the fire, raising serious concerns about his cognitive health. Throughout the speech, Trump struggled to form coherent sentences, referred to nonsensical topics, and made bizarre claims that left even his most ardent supporters scratching their heads. As calls for transparency mount, critics are asking, is this the end of Trump's political career, or can he still hold the reins of power? This video delves into the strange Arizona speech, its controversial statements, and what it all might mean for the future of American politics. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to reaching 1,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without you. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe right now. And if you're already subscribed, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. All right, let's dive right into it. The slurred speech. Trump struggles to get through basic sentences. From the very beginning, Trump's speech was marred by slurred words and incomprehensible phrases. At one point, he seemed to say something along the lines of Ianias, leaving listeners perplexed. What was he even trying to say? This incoherence set the tone for the entire speech, with Trump repeatedly fumbling his words and struggling to maintain a logical flow. For instance, in an attempt to reference the famous scientist Albert Einstein, Trump instead blurted out, "They say the smartest person was Albert." He said, "Trump, I agree with it." This moment of self-aggrandizement, paired with his inability to properly say Einstein's name, only heightened concerns about his mental acuity. But it didn't stop there. Trump continued his odd behavior by mispronouncing common words. At one point, he attempted to say company but stumbled, eventually spitting out con. These mistakes, though small individually, piled up throughout the speech, painting a picture of a man who is not in full control of his faculties. The Eugenics Rant, a dangerous turn toward racist ideology. As if the slurred speech wasn't enough, Trump took a sharp turn into even more dangerous territory by invoking Nazi-era rhetoric. He asked the crowd, "Does anybody believe in genes? Do you guys believe in genetics?" What followed was an unsettling rant about strong genes, a dog whistle that evoked chilling echoes of the eugenics movement. This is not the first time Trump has flirted with such dangerous ideologies. During his presidency, he often praised authoritarian figures and made statements that hinted at his admiration for a racial hierarchy. However, his Arizona speech took these dangerous notions to a new level. This kind of language, coming from a man who held the highest office in the United States, has alarming implications for American society and the broader global community. Ranting and Raving. Trump's delusional self-praise. One of the strangest moments of the Arizona speech came when Trump began to boast about his ability to rant and rave for weeks on end without making mistakes. "I'm up here ranting and raving for weeks and weeks. Flawless. Not a mistake." This bizarre self-congratulation drew laughter from some in the crowd, but others were left deeply unsettled. Trump's delusional statements only furthered the sense that he is losing his grip on reality. In one breath, he tried to downplay his cognitive decline by saying, "I'll let you know when I'm cognitively impaired," only to follow it up with a series of jumbled, nonsensical remarks. At one point, he even seemed to admit that he might already be showing signs of cognitive impairment, adding, "We all will be someday, but I'll be the first to let you know." For someone who prides himself on being a strong leader, these statements were a stark contrast to the image he has long projected. The sleep and kissing a chart. What was he even talking about? Another perplexing moment came when Trump began to talk about how he sleeps with and kisses a chart every night. What was this about? No one knows. The statement was part of a larger discussion about border security, but Trump's tangent about kissing a chart left many wondering if he even understood what he was saying. This was yet another example of the incoherence that characterized the entire speech. Such erratic statements have become a hallmark of Trump's public appearances in recent years. Whether he's discussing bizarre personal habits, praising dictators, or spewing conspiracy theories, it's clear that Trump's speeches have become increasingly difficult to follow. This has led many to question whether he is fit to run for president again, let alone hold office. The Alien Enemies Act, a call to rewind to 1798? In one of the more jarring moments of his speech, Trump expressed his desire to bring back the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a law that allowed the U.S. government to deport non-citizens during wartime. Those were the old days when they had tough politicians, Trump reminisced, as if yearning for an era when xenophobic and draconian policies were the norm. This section of the speech also highlighted Trump's deep misunderstanding of modern political and legal realities. In an age where civil rights and due process are paramount, his call to invoke a centuries-old law is not only regressive, but also downright dangerous. It reflects his broader desire to return to a time when unchecked government power reigned supreme, an idea that should alarm anyone who values democracy and the rule of law. Misremembering his own words, "Do you believe in genes?" One of the more disturbing sections of Trump's speech was his return to the theme of genetics. "Do you guys believe in genetics?" he asked, to an unsettling murmur from the crowd. Trump has previously flirted with such rhetoric, praising his own good genes and implying that genetic superiority is linked to success. Such language is a clear nod to eugenics, a pseudoscientific belief that led to some of the most horrifying atrocities of the 20th century. The fact that Trump, a former president, continues to engage with these ideas is deeply concerning. His casual mention of genetics in Arizona reveals a willingness to embrace dangerous ideologies, and it should serve as a wake-up call for anyone still on the fence about his potential 2024 run. The ultimate projection, attacking Kamala Harris. In a moment of profound irony, Trump accused Vice President Kamala Harris of being scandal-prone. "Every time she opens her mouth, there's a scandal," he said, projecting his own troubled past onto his political opponents. Throughout his presidency, Trump was dogged by scandal after scandal, from his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic to his 2 impeachments and his role in the January 6th insurrection. Yet in his Arizona speech, he seemed oblivious to the irony of his statements, casting himself as the victim while painting Harris as a constant source of controversy. This tactic of projection has long been a part of Trump's playbook, and it continues to resonate with his base. However, for those paying attention, it's clear that Trump's accusations are little more than a reflection of his own shortcomings. The soiled himself incident, the uncomfortable reality of decline. While Trump's Arizona speech was filled with bizarre moments, perhaps none were more uncomfortable than the growing rumors about his physical decline. As previously reported, there have been instances where it appeared that Trump had soiled himself on stage, most notably during a speech in Detroit. Though Trump's camp has vehemently denied these claims, the rumors persist, and his Arizona speech did little to dispel them. At one point, Trump made a strange reference to ranting and raving for weeks on end, adding, "No mistakes, not a single one." Yet, his performance in Arizona was anything but flawless. The combination of slurred speech, bizarre tangents, and his refusal to address concerns about his health only added to the speculation that Trump is in serious cognitive decline. Donald Trump's speech in Prescott Valley, Arizona, was a disturbing display of cognitive decline and dangerous rhetoric. From his slurred words to his bizarre tangents about genetics and kissing charts, Trump's performance left many questioning his fitness for office. While his base may continue to support him, the rest of the country is beginning to see a man who is struggling to keep up with the demands of public life. As calls for Trump to release his medical records grow louder, the former president remains defiant, refusing to be transparent with the American people. However, the evidence is mounting. Trump's mental and physical health are in question, and his Arizona speech only confirmed what many have suspected for years. The question now is whether Trump can maintain the loyalty of his supporters in the face of such clear signs of decline, or if this speech will mark the beginning of the end of his political career. One thing is certain. As the 2024 election looms, Trump's bizarre and confusing statements will continue to spark outrage and concern.